Braden's outburst at school was so horrific. I mean, he would destroy a room in just seconds. And I mean destroy. He would flip the tables, throw the chairs.
And every day I'd have to go get him. And it didn't matter. We couldn't plan our day. We couldn't say, this is what I have scheduled for me today, us today, what we need to accomplish, because we were, we were always anchored to the telephone because the telephone was gonna ring. And I mean, a lot of days we'd take him to school at 9 o'clock, and by 9:30 they were calling us.
It was just easier to keep him home than to go pick him up. And you know what? It was embarrassing for him. I mean,
Yeah.
Once he got so far into his outburst, I mean, he didn't want to do it, but he couldn't stop himself either, And it was heartbreaking. I mean, it was heartbreaking for him, heartbreaking for us. And I mean, we didn't hold a grudge against the teachers or the educational system, but I mean, they couldn't serve him. They couldn't serve him, and it was so hard. The extracurricular activities such as music and art, gym, Braeden also had challenges with. I mean, he really didn't want to participate with a group. That was hard for him. I think he felt like he didn't quite fit in, even though he loves music and he likes doing art projects as he would do them at home. He could not bring himself to do them at school. Like, he wouldn't even go down to the other classroom to participate. I didn't believe Braeden could go any further in his learning process, because I even said to them, academic-wise, he's probably where he's going to be. I accept that, But if he can learn some functional skills, like the men's bathroom and how to order a restaurant and go out and walk across the street and things like that, that would be great. I feel bad about that now because he was miserable. And I just added to that misery instead of trying to really challenge the school and to find a different way for him. And now he's in 6th grade, and he started at Thomas Ewing. His second day of school, he got suspended because he had an outburst.
So we were really worried about this placement at General Sherman because this classroom goes out in the community. They go and do things, and we didn't know if Braeden would keep it together enough to be able to do that.
Well, I knew Braeden from Special Olympics, and he's been in Special Olympics for maybe 5 years or so. So I knew him a little bit from there, but never in an educational setting. I was told that he was going to come to my classroom. So when he first came in, he was more reserved, quiet, but we had Grandma come in with him, and we were making pumpkin rolls that day. And so she kind of sat in the back, and he started being a part of the pumpkin roll and the assembly line, and he was like involved. He started talking to the friends. I mean, it was a great interaction.
The first week at General Sherman, they do a program called Lexia on the iPad, and it's language arts and things of that nature, yes, spelling and things of that. He downloaded it on his own iPad at home, and he works on it at home. And his first week at school, he was on it for 300 minutes and earned a gift card. I guess, so many minutes, you earn a gift card, it's an incentive for them. But I mean, 300 minutes that very first week.
I mean, he's just flourished there. I mean, he's not had one single outburst the entire time he's been in this placement. And we're talking about, all of the school year except for the first, grading period, right?
And when he started at General Sherman, he had a behavior plan, and he had a crisis intervention in case something happened that we would come and get him. And so in his IEP that we went to in March of this year, he'd had no behavior incidences, and so therefore the plan was discontinued.
Right.
And I mean, it was all glowing reports from all of his teachers in all areas of school, and we just cried through the whole meeting. And I mean, everybody cried. It just wasn't us.
Yeah.
For several years, he's been on a chemical restraint just to help manage his behavior. And when he started at General Sherman, I went to school with him the first 3 days there and faded out each day. But I said, would you be willing to try him without that noon dose of medicine? And they said, yeah, okay, I was going to be there, and I said, do whatever. And so we didn't do it. We never did medicine at General Sherman. And now he doesn't even take it at all. Since April 4th, he's been on for that medicine that was a chemical restraint.
So for him, he just, I think, felt like he could succeed, and we praised everything he did. We did it slowly, and we kind of took signs from him to see what he was comfortable with. And now, with the peer helpers that come into our classrooms and his peers, they get along great. He's approaching them and asking for that social interaction and that feedback. And it's just absolutely amazing to watch. It warms my heart. And every time I talk about it, I get choked up and cry because it really is amazing.
You know, we just can't tell you how relieved we are that he's finally found a niche. I mean, we're kind of apprehensive that the school year's about to end, you know, hoping against all hope that he doesn't lose this niche he's found, you know. So, and when he goes back next year, we hope he can just build on what he's already, you know, built this year. So, I mean, our hopes are high for him. You know, I think he's got a great spirit, a very loving kid. I mean, these are a couple of his buddies right here. He got Wolfie first, and then he got Slushy, and he uses them to communicate with us. And like, he wants to group hug with me and Grandma and his friends, and he'll use his friends. You know, I mean, he really wants to hug himself, but he uses his friends.
Right. I mean, this is just one child that has had such a
Dramatic turnaround.
oh my gosh, in just a few short months. You know, from October to now that this has all happened for Braeden. I mean,
yeah, he's an honor student. He made the honor roll. He was earned a Sherman Star Award, and he got an outstanding award for achievement as a student. Just in the last, 3 grading periods.
yes.
So it's fantastic. And I mean, never once in all of his, you know, other 6 placements in 6 years of school has he made any of those markers. So we're really happy for him.
You know, there's a lot of staff in the past. I mean, I've loved and I hated to see him go, and really worked hard with Braeden. And but I mean, you know, whatever reason, this has been the place for him. This has been the place.
Yeah.
And it's also because his grandparents and his family never gave up on him. You know, they kept advocating for him and trying different things and working with the school system of what's going to work for him and help him, and, you know, trying new things and supporting me. I mean, they have supported us 100%. No matter what we need or what we're doing, she's like, what can I help with? You know, she's right there. And that's wonderful too, because that collaboration between home and school, that's what's going to get him to succeed.
This is wonderful. When this happens for a parent or a grandparent who's raising a child, this is wonderful. I mean, a weight's been lifted off us this year. I mean, it's amazing. It really is.
Don't stop trying. Just because you've failed, you know, what is it now, 6, 7 years in a row at an academic attempt, you can't give up. I mean, a kid's still a kid. He still needs taught. And thankfully, you know, Braeden has found a niche. And I think that, you know, there's hope that everybody can find that niche if they're just persistent enough to keep fighting.
All children can learn. You know, all children are so intelligent, and that if we give them an environment that is positive and that is fun, we make education fun for them and work with them at their ability, and then challenge them and have those high expectations and say, I know you can do this. You know, I think that all children will achieve these wonderful outcomes and be independent members of society. I think it's huge.
For anybody who sees this, it's just there is hope, and there's always a different way for these kids.